Is iOS better than Android? I've been using the iPhone 12 Pro Max for the past 3 weeks. Stay tuned to find out how I feel about it after 3 weeks of switching from Android to iOS. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Prexiprex. In this episode, I'm going to talk about my feelings and impressions and what I love or not so love about iOS after switching from the Pixel 5 and technically after switching from using Android for all my life. Okay, so let's get started with the things I love about my brand new spanking iPhone 12 Pro Max. So what do I love about the iPhone 12 Pro Max? Basically everything. That's a little bit, vague. So here are a few particular things I love. The first thing is I love the shortcuts. I've already mentioned that in my previous video. I've been using the shortcuts to create a few interactions here and there. For example, instead of putting all my apps in folders, I created shortcuts to open them straight away from a single press. So that has been amazing. I'm yet to learn more about shortcuts, but I think that's a really key feature of iOS. The next most important thing for me, battery life. I started charging my iPhone 12 Pro Max once every 2 days. I have previously mentioned it. I'm not a very power user. I don't play a lot of games. And especially during a regular work day, I hardly touch my phone because I will be working and I will hardly use my phone for anything other than checking messages and responding to messages in the interim, or like taking a quick break to browse through Instagram or Facebook. That's pretty much it. Most of my use happens after work. Having said that, I started to notice that by the end of second day, the lowest my iPhone had gone down was 13%. On an average, my battery stays somewhere in the range between 25 and 35%, which is pretty damn good because I was charging my Pixel 5 pretty much every day. Very rarely do I charge it once every 2 days. And that still happened on the Pixel 5, by the way. I did charge it once every 2 days, very rarely. But with my iPhone 12 Pro Max, it's regular. I do not charge it every night. I charge it once every 2 days, which is absolutely amazing. The next thing I love about the iPhone or the iOS is the smoothness. It is absolutely smooth. I know the iPhone 12 Pro or the 12 series does not have anything more than a 60 Hz refresh rate. I, for one, have never used anything more than a 60 Hz refresh rate. So I don't have much of a personal comparison to talk about. However, I still feel that after using Android phones for all my life, this level of smoothness I have not experienced before. It's just buttery, silky smooth, and it doesn't matter how many apps I have open, it's just smooth, and you have to use it to find it out. So that's one of the things I love about it. The next thing I love about the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the integration between the Apple devices. As you all know, currently I have an iPad Mini 4, my iPhone 12 Pro Max, and my Apple Watch SE. Now, it's beautiful how I can pick up the messages on my iPad from my iPhone and start typing on it, and my iPad rings and my my watch vibrates every time I get a call. It's just smooth. I don't have to jump through hoops like I did with all my Android phones. I mean, like, you can only answer phones on your phone or on your headphones, wireless headphones, if you have that. That's pretty much it. Or you can answer phones on your Google speakers, which I never used, by the way. It just felt weird. So this amount of integration meant that if I'm caught like with trying to type a long message on my phone, I can easily switch to my iPad and I can type it much more freely. It's much more helpful, and it's just seamless. I mean, this is exactly what I was needing in my life, things that just work together well. Now, still one more puzzle piece is missing, which is Mac OS. Just fingers crossed, I will get something really soon. Make sure you subscribe to my video and click that bell icon to know when my next big unboxing is going to happen. Trust me, it's going to be big. Most probably it'll happen in July. Let's see, but it's going to happen. So don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you don't miss that video. I'm going to be a first time user for so many things. So watch my amazement of the Apple ecosystem and how much I'm loving it. Now, enough of the things I love about it. Of course, there's going to be things that I don't like so much or things that I miss. Now, before I go into the things that I actually am not a big fan of, I would like to talk about the things that I would actually like to have in my iPhone 12 Pro Max. So the first thing I would like to have is, don't complain about this, but a default digital clock widget. I have never been a big fan of analog clocks. The default clock widget in the iPhone is only analog. If you want to have a digital clock widget, you have to go through some app like Widget or some widget creation app and then create your own widget. Now, don't get me wrong, I have done that as well. As you can see from my current screen, I have made it my own. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of customizing, but I like to have a particular setup and then just leave it at that. So I've set it up, and this has been my setup after the first 3 days of using my iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I haven't changed anything, and I'm quite happy with the way things are. I might play with it maybe later after like a few weeks, I don't know, but I don't meddle with it a lot. But having that digital clock widget by default would have saved me some circus acts. So that is something I would love to have, but not a big complaint, but something I thought like, oh, why not? You know what I mean? The next thing I would like to have is the ability to leave blank space in my home screen. I don't like to have my home screen very cluttered on a long-term basis. It just looks a bit too busy. As you can see from my home screen currently, I have only placed widgets there because that's much more cleaner than having those little icons of my apps over there. It feels messy. Ideally, I would like to have just my digital clock widget and maybe like one music control player. That's pretty much all I want to have in my home screen. The next page can have the rest of the widgets. However, a lot of the things that I would like to have, from what I'm hearing from all the leaks around, is that they're all going to be implemented in iOS 15 update. So fingers crossed things get better and I just get more happier with my phone. The next thing I would like to have would be the ability to move my icons wherever I want. Again, it falls in the same line as being able to leave space in home screen or in any screen. Again, I believe this is a feature that may be coming on iOS 15. I'm not sure, but fingers crossed again. Let's see what happens. Another thing which is supposedly coming in iOS 15 is music player controls on widgets. So let's hope for the best, and hopefully it comes so I can have my Spotify controller as a widget in my home screen. Another thing I would really like to see happen is, you know how the auto music recognition is there? Like it's fully integrated into Shazam and it's literally on your control panel. Now, when I click on it, it only allows me to open the songs in iTunes. I don't use iTunes, I use Shazam. Sorry, I use Spotify. Now, I know Spotify can be made the default app, but I'm not sure how to work it around for this Shazam music identification. If anyone knows how I can do that, please let me know, or I might just give you another update in a few weeks on how I managed to do that. But I also know that with more features coming up, this could be rectified, or maybe it's not an issue, it's just me trying to learn my ropes around the iOS system. The next thing I would like to see is always on screen when your phone is actually in off mode, which is again, I think is coming in iOS 15. So I'm not even going to talk about it much because it's on its way. from what I can hear. The next thing, this comes under the category of things I'm not a big fan of as well. There's literally only one thing I'm not a big fan of. It's Siri. Now, don't ask me why. Something about it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel organic enough for me. I know it's because of the privacy controls and issues that Siri's functionality has been limited. Because of that, I would really like to have Google Assistant as my default assistant. Now, there has been rumors floating around that that could be happening with iOS 15 as well. If that happens, then I will be the happiest person. Another thing that I would like to have, which is again coming in iOS 15 rumors, is the ability to close all open apps in one go. Currently, you cannot do that. You need to swipe them up one by one, which can be tedious. So that if I can close everything in one button, that will be great. But I'm pretty sure that's coming as a feature in iOS 15. So not even fingers crossed, because it's a pretty much done deal, I believe. Now, as I mentioned, the only thing I'm not a big fan of is Siri. I still try to do things with Siri, but I have a weird feeling. Like every now and then, Siri starts talking on my Apple Watch. I don't know why. I don't even say, hey, you know who, but while I'm on the phone talking to my friends, all of a sudden, there's a voice coming up saying like, I don't know how to find that. I mean, like, shut up. I'm not talking to you. And I thought Google was bad. Google always randomly starts to talk to me when I'm not calling for it. And now Siri is doing that a lot more, which is again another reason why I don't feel very comfortable with Siri, because it can get a bit annoying at times. Now, one of the most important things, now this is something I am very new to in iOS, is the fact that when I install a new app and open it, there's always a message asking me about app tracking. Do I want this app to track whatever I'm doing? Like, hell to the no, I don't want it. I've never seen anything similar to this in Google. I know there's like one initial setup you give in Android, like about app tracking, and they kind of sugarcoat it saying like, oh, if you want the best results, you need to let us track, and you always say yes because you want the best results. But in iPhone, you can actually choose which apps you want to track you. Obviously, I don't want Facebook to track me, because that gives me the most junk in my emails, in my text messages, and I keep getting random calls all the time. So it's a beautiful feature. The more I learn about iOS, one thing I have found is that Apple has always been big on privacy, which is another reason why the limitations, the so-called limitations are there and the restrictions are there. And I'm happy. Listen, if it works seamlessly for me, if technology can make my life easier without making it a big fat circus with Britney dancing in the middle, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with reasonable restrictions, because I'm not going to be diving nose deep into my phone day in, day out. I'm not that kind of a person. For me, my technology is there to make my life better, not rule my life. And the way I see it, Apple products are more seamless in working together, which makes my life easy, which is something I always struggled with Android devices. It's always a circus, a big circus, especially when I'm trying to move my videos I record for my YouTube to my PC. I have to install the proprietary app for that particular mobile and then wait for ages to transfer it to my computer. You know what? I'm not even gonna go for it. Now, all of this is slowly going to change, because I have decided to embrace the Apple ecosystem on a productivity-based level, not on a private level, because I'm a gamer. I use a gaming PC. That's my main system. So for everything else, particularly for my YouTube videos and everything, I would like to have something which can make my life much more easier, work faster. And I've also heard a lot about Final Cut Pro, so that is something I would like to explore further as well. So slowly but surely, one by one, we'll get there. So that is pretty much all I have to say about my experience with the iPhone 12 Pro Max in the first 3+ weeks of using it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can get updates on when I'm putting my next video. My next video will obviously be about my Apple Watch SE. I will be doing a video on that in the next couple of weeks and putting an update. However, a major unboxing is coming up. If you don't click the bell icon, you're not gonna know about it. So until next time, it's bye from Praxy Prax. Stay safe, everyone.